Hello, what's going on, guys? It's Will back with another video. Today, we're going to be going over the MLB Prizepicks slate for Saturday, April 29th. We got some more categories to work with than last week, so I'm going to be giving you guys 4 plays, so let's get into it. The first one is going to be Christian Javier, 6.5 strikeouts, taking the more on this one. Looking at Christian Javier on the year, or his baseball savant page, very good K numbers. We know Javier is just a very good pitcher. His chase rate is it ranks in the 92nd percentile. And this in particular, when you look at this match against Philadelphia, the Phillies, for K rate, they are K'ing 24.7%. That ranks tied for 11th. But the range, the difference between all these teams, it's very narrow. They're all really close up here. So above average K matchup for Javier, and then in particular, so that chase rate percentile number, you look at this column, this means just swings that are on pitches outside of the strike zone. Philadelphia is third, so they chase a lot, so that just matches up really well for Javier. Javier going to be pitching at home, and his K rate, 25.4 right now. He was even better, so we could expect this K rate to actually increase, and he's at 6.5. This is pretty much usually, sometimes we'll see him at 7.5, depending on the matchup. And then if you look at our Prizepicks tool, Prop Optimizer here on DFS Army, we do have Javier as the second best play right now for us to hit, only behind Kevin Gausman, barely. And Gausman's a good play as well, but just when I was making notes for this video, Gausman was not up on the board yet. So I'm going to give you guys Christian Javier for this one, and then there's the odds breakdown. And then if you want to see use this tool for all these sports that we do have, you're going to need to sign up for a membership, and we do have a code. Link is down in the description. You're going to get 20% off any prop sub, and you look at this package or this tool right now, it's only going to get better. We're going to add a lot more, just a lot more functionality to this, just a lot more things that are going to help you make the best picks. So Javier, the odds do back it up here, -135 on the over. This should bump to 7 on underdog. It actually is already 7. The next pick, we are going to go to Toronto with total bases with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1.5 total bases, taking the more on this one. So initially, they did not have the total base category up. They always put fantasy score up first. And now that they do, I like this one as opposed to his 8 fantasy score because of type of player that he is. I typically like to take fantasy score if the player has some type of like steal upside, but Guerrero obviously he doesn't. He's not someone who runs really well. And then this matchup now taking on the Mariners. So first Flexen, he has really struggled this year. He's actually walking a lot of guys as well. But career-wise, like he kind of fixed it, and then he somehow just started walking guys again. No control, but overall, just the expected batting average of 321. Like that's really insane. All of his numbers here, not all, but most of them, a lot of blue. That's what you don't want to see. What you want to see when you're trying to take hitters against them, though. And Guerrero, this is a good spot. Flexen, quick look at his splits. So against righties, he's a right-handed pitcher, and this goes for his previous years as well. He actually just is weaker against right-handed pitchers. On plate IQ here for Flexen, the breakdown against the Blue Jays here versus righties versus lefties, like his numbers, they're worse against righties for some reason. And when you do look at this Blue Jays team, a lot of these righties are actually, they do have reverse splits. Vladimir Guerrero right here. Clearly very good numbers here. Doesn't K a lot. Does walk 8%. So you could make the argument that you want to take this one over, but the chances of hitting 8, you're probably going to hit this one just because without the ability to steal a base, you need to walk, you need to score runs, RBI. Like you need guys to get on base or for other guys to drive you in to hit this. But if you could double, that's 5, and he could hit this one and still be 3 points short of the fantasy score. So that's my logic on taking the total bases for Vlad. Toronto, they're playing at home. They did move the fences closer, so it turned into more of a hitter-friendly stadium now, and they do have one of the higher totals on the slate at over 5.5 is, I believe, plus 110. If it is, yeah, plus 110 here. So that's the second play, and then it's actually going to be a stack for the third play. So I'm going to take Bo Bichette more on this one. Springer was also in consideration, but he actually bumped to 7.5. He was at 7. Posted that earlier for the members, so that's another thing when I do post these videos, record them. I have already given these plays out in the Discord for our members, so they get it before the bumps. So if you do want to beat the bumps, it's just, another benefit of signing up being a member. But because he has bumped, I'm going to be taking Bichette. I would say Vlad's my favorite, but the Bichette, it's basically a stack. This is what you want to do for baseball. Stacking, because of how the sport works. If the guy gets on, you drive him in, all that stuff, then you both score. So if you wanted to stack Bichette with Vlad, you could take the fantasy score, but it's perfectly fine if you just take total bases because, in theory, Vlad hits behind Bichette. So obviously Bichette gets on, Vlad can drive him home, then Bichette's also contributing to this fantasy score. So Bichette 7.5, the reasoning on this one, if you do look at his odds for hits, runs, and RBIs, he has a 2.5 line and it's only plus 100 on the over. So this is very good. And for comparison, you look at Coors, if they have the odds, yeah, they do. So like CJ Cron, Troy Blackman, their odds and their fantasy point lines, Blackman's at 8.5, Bichette's at 7.5. And yes, this is a much better stadium, but that's already been built into these odds. And Bichette, he has stolen base upside. He actually hasn't been running as much, but you can't tell me that Blackman's more likely to steal than Bo. So this is definitely a bit too low for Bichette, and this is just a good environment. Also, someone who has had reverse splits, so that fits right in with Flexen, how he pitches. And if you did want to pick Springer, make this a 3-man stack, totally fine. But the fourth and final play, we are going to go with another fantasy score, and that is going to be Rafael Devers more as well. Similar, we're going to be looking at hits, runs, and RBIs for Devers, and he also has a 2.5 line. He is a plus 120 though, so obviously not as great of a play. So that's why he's going to be ranked below Bo. But Devers at 7.5, looking into, I'll pull up the numbers here for Devers. He is taking on Zach Plesac. So this game, if we look at the weather, there could be some rain, but because this is an earlier start time, they should be able to get this one in, but definitely something to monitor. It's cold, 48 degrees, where you're comparing that to a stadium in Toronto, which has a dome. So when you have cooler temperatures, also rain, usually it's going to be a little bit harder to score runs. Now the matchup though, Plesac, he is not good, as you can see. And his splits are pretty significant, like this year and then last year, even more pronounced. Like this is not good against lefties. And then looking at pitch data, so for lefties, he throws this year he stepped up his slider usage, so fastball, slider, change. And then you look at how Devers has been hitting against those pitches, fastball, slider. Not as great this year, but last year, like he was above average, positive run value. Then same thing for all the other pitches. Like he did not have a single pitch where he had a negative run value. So basically kind of no weakness there. And then on this season though, his expected batting average is 270, currently 231. So he's batting nearly 40 points lower than what he really should be batting. So, we should expect positive regression, a lot of red want to see, and Devers, we know he's just a beast. So at 7.5, playing at home in Fenway in a very good matchup against Zach Plesac, who, as I showed, a lot of struggles there, and he doesn't really K guys, chase rates there, but he's just not able to finish them off. So that's a good sign, and good sign for Devers. So those are going to be the 4 picks. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like before you go, subscribe to the channel, and turn that notification bell on, because once this video goes live, obviously people start playing it, and then Prizepicks does bump the props. So thank you guys again. Good luck on the slate, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.